I am currently on my way to work. The 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, whatever you want to call it. That's where I'm going. Thank goodness it's Friday, so. But I still have to film a wedding tomorrow, so my Fridays aren't really always Fridays anymore because I pretty much work 7 days a week.
Then turn left onto Turtle Rock.
Full-time videography director, and I'm a full-time pretty much videography or full-time wedding videographer. I mean, I do like about 25 to 30 weddings a year. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, but yeah, pretty much I love what I do. So, you know, those days of me not liking what I do for the most part is over. I used to be an accountant for 10 years, so that sucked. You know, thinking, you know, you have a creative mind and you have to do accounting really sucks ass. But thankfully I'm able to do videography full-time or overtime, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely better than you know, spending 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11, 12 hours a day doing something you absolutely do not want to do. So I highly encourage people to try to find your passion and try to do what you really want to do. But, you know, back to the title of the video, I just kind of want to say I'm pretty busy. You know, I don't really have a crap ton of time to do other stuff. Pretty much I'm working constantly, you know. Even if I'm like out hanging out somewhere, in the back of my mind, you know, there's still like, oh, I got to do that work later, you know. So if I'm not working, if I'm out hanging out with friends or if I'm out to dinner or something, in my mind I should be working. Back to the title of the video. I have a slight inkling that I might be getting scammed on eBay. As some of you may know, I've been trying to sell my some of my lenses based off of the videos that I posted about lenses, and I'm trying to sell a 50mm Zeiss f1.4 lens for Sony. For those of you who have never watched this video before and just clicked because you saw the eBay scam title, well, I'm trying to sell a lens on eBay, and I sold it. This Chinese dude made an offer for it. You know, definitely cheaper than what I listed it for. So that wasn't a red flag or anything. But you know, Chinese people. Every time some Chinese person tries to buy some of my stuff, I always get kind of like shaded out because Chinese people are probably one of the more shady of Asian people. Like Vietnamese people, I'm Vietnamese. Vietnamese people would straight up, like, you know, steal your rims or something, you know, in the middle of the street, or do some other type of just regular theft, you know, or they might stab you at a nightclub with, I don't know, like a half-broken Heineken bottle. But Chinese people, when they're shady, they do like this online shady stuff. They'll sell you fake stuff. They always have some type of, I guess what you call it, their theft is like on the smarter end of theft, where they do it online and they can't be tracked, or it's harder to be caught. But anyways, so this dude, you know, I made an offer. He said, hey, he asked if I could sell it for, I think it was $900. I said no. Then he said $950. I'm like, okay. So I shipped it out. You know, I've been buying and selling on eBay for a long time. I'm pretty good at selling on it, you know, especially used gear. And for the most part, you know, I buy a lot of things on eBay because a lot of times you get a better deal. And you know, that's how Asian people do it, man. Like, we're cheap, and that's how we're able to save money. That's why you see that you know, Vietnamese lady that only knows like 4 words of English. You know, she's like a manicurist, and she drives around a Lexus all day. Meanwhile, the corporate white dude driving around a Toyota Camry. Just because, you know, it's how you spend your money. You know, that it's how you handle your spending enables you to, I save money, buy other things. But so the dude bought it, and I got a message from him yesterday saying, oh, I've been trying it on my A7R2 and the autofocus doesn't work. So I was like, huh, maybe it's like his AF switch or something, AF autofocus manual focus switch on the lens or what have you. But he might be like, oh, I tried all that stuff, it still doesn't work, I'm gonna have to return it. So eBay will force you to return any items that you sell if the buyer claims defective. Now this guy has about 24 feedback. It looks like he's been buying a lot of camera stuff, so you know, I hope he's not BSing, but I know for a fact that lens, that 50mm Zeiss, has been working 100%. Is it like a little dirty? Does it need cleaning? Yes, which I put in the description. But it was working. I was literally using it right before I sold it. So I had to accept his return request, and I don't know if, you know, when he returns the box, if there's gonna be anything in it, or if he returns the box, there's gonna be a different lens in it, or it's gonna be the same lens but a broken lens that he actually had, but he took my working lens and swapped it. I don't know, because I know for a fact my lens works. I know the serial number for the lens that I sent, so I'll try to match that up. But you know, I have concerns that I might be getting scammed. Or he just got it and he realized that, yo, this Zeiss is a pretty big, hefty lens. Because he's Chinese, so he's not really used to handling like big things in his hands. So that Zeiss is probably like something he's never handled before. But you know, I don't know. You know, I made sure everything in the description was accurate. I had pictures. You know, I notified eBay. You know, I let them know what's up. Like, hey, look, like, I think this guy might be trying to scam me, but there's no guarantee. Worst comes to worst, what he's trying to do is he is trying to just, he has buyer's remorse. You know, like I said, it's too big for him or whatever it may be. Maybe, you know, he just realized like how dirty it actually was, because it is a dirty lens. Like, there's some cleaning. I can't get like some dust out of like the little like rivets or whatever, but I've used it a lot, that's why. But yeah, I think maybe he just didn't want it. He didn't want to pay the return shipping for having buyer's remorse, so he just claimed defective, so I had to pay for the return shipping, so he's gonna return it to me. But yeah, eBay is like a shady place, you know. Like, I've never had many issues with it. I probably had like one other random small issue in the past, but this is a $950 issue. So what I'm hoping right now is that, hey, look, like, I hope my lens comes back as it was. I know it works, and I hope he didn't do something stupid and ended up making it not work. But that's all I'm hoping for right now. So, you know, that's what the eBay really backs its buyers. They make it very easy to return. As soon as they claim defective, you could sell anything. You could sell a phone, and they could be like, oh, hey, something's not working, and then you're gonna have to accept the return. You know, they make it very easy for buyers to get some type of refund, or, you know. And a guy like me, like, I'm busy. You know, I work 70, 80 hours a week. I'm trying to do this YouTube stuff too, and I really don't have time to deal with this, because I'm gonna have to repost the you know, after this I'm gonna have to repost the lens, or I don't know what's gonna happen, you know. Like, if I did get scammed where he sends me an empty box, like, I'm gonna have to like find time to handle that jazz. I gotta call eBay. Like, all this stuff takes time, mental energy, you know, just thinking about it. It adds up, you know. Like, even client calls, like, let's say I have a wedding client call, yeah, it's only 30 minutes to an hour of actual time, but the time of setting up the call, the emailing back and forth, the thought about, you know, scheduling it, or just the thought that you're gonna have to, if you schedule, you know, all my calls are usually scheduled after work, so like 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm gonna have to like go home, eat dinner first, or you know, everything has to revolve around that. So all that stuff takes time that I don't really have. I mean, right now I'm driving to work, trying to vlog. You know, somewhat thankfully it's like a 30-minute drive, so if I record these types of videos, I have plenty of time. But yeah, that's it. I was just kind of like voicing my concerns about the possibility of getting scammed on eBay. So that's why, you know, you have to be careful with if you are selling stuff on eBay, especially some of you camera guys. You're selling lenses, camera gear, and stuff. So make sure your descriptions are legit. You take a lot of pictures, maybe even post a video of it actually working, all that stuff. And I didn't do it this time, which I should have. I used to when I was like selling a lot more stuff, but be as descriptive as possible, and you know, make sure you sell it to someone with a lot of feedback. Maybe I shouldn't have sold it to a guy with like 24, but I thought it'd be okay. Yeah, just don't sell with people with like low feedback numbers, and then you know, you make sure you ship things out on time and all that stuff. Be prompt, and you know, you just hope for the best. And these are very common scams. People claiming something is defective because they don't want it. So one, they'll claim that the item is something is not working, or something is defective, this is not as described or something, and then you're forced to take the return. You're forced to accept it. So one, you end up getting the lens back and everything's fine, and all you're out is the return shipping that you had to pay. Two, they send you back the wrong item. They send you back a cheaper type lens, a cheaper 50mm, Samyang 50mm or some crap, or they send you back that same exact lens, the Zeiss or whatever that you sold, but it's like actually is broken and is not the one that you sent out to them. Or, you know, what else could they do? Or they could possibly send you just an empty box and then just vanish off of eBay. But of course, you don't have to give them the refund until you receive and everything's confirmed that you received it. But if you don't return the item within like 2 days, if you don't give them a refund within 2 days of delivery of the returned item, then eBay will probably just force a refund. So those just be careful out there, you know. I just feel so, I somewhat feel violated, you know. It's like see, now I know how Vietnamese girls feel like when they're like walking around like a Vietnamese shopping center, and those like Vietnamese dudes out there smoking cigarettes with like their flip-flops and stuff, hooting and hollering at those Vietnamese girls. Now I know how those Vietnamese girls feel like, man, just straight up violated, you know. I feel violated if any Vietnamese guys hoot and holler to me, but yet alone, you know, dudes smoking on their flip-flops, you know, after drinking coffee for half the day. But yeah, that's that, guys. Sorry, probably a boring video, but till next time, lighten up.